Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Pete's Quarter Life Crisis. In today's episode, we're going to be going through a lot of war nickels. I've got 3 bags, I think over 150 war nickels that I've bought from a couple different sources. So we're going to go through them and see if we can't find some varieties. They're not uncirculated quality, so it might be hard to see some of the more fine varieties, but there's a lot of interesting varieties on the war nickels as we'll go through once we get started, and maybe we can find some. So come along. Alright, so the first step is we're going to get all of the nickels out and get them sorted by year and mint, and then we'll figure out what varieties we're looking for each year and mint. So there was 4 years of war nickels, 42 to 45, and all the mints, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Denver. So we're going to get that sorted, and this is going to take a little while, so enjoy watching a sped up version of sorting. Be back in a bit. They're all out. Somewhere around 150 war nickels. Alright, let's get started. Alright guys, finally finished sorting. Let's go through what the counts are pretty much. So the far left over here are 42s, so it looks like maybe there's 7 of them, and all the rest of these are piles of 20s. So these are 43s, 20, 40, 60, 64, 43s. These are 44s, so 20, maybe 30, and then 45s, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, almost 100 and maybe 15, 16, 1945s. So the next step is going to be going through them year by year, and we may as well start with the 42s, which I don't have many of. That'll be easy. The other ones we're going to have to sort into mint and look for specific varieties based on that. So be right back once I have the camera, the microscope set up. So let's get to it. Alright, so like I said, the first thing we're going to do is go through the 1942 war nickels. So we have a P and the S. So on the Philadelphia variety, we're going to be looking for a repunched mint mark, the P over P, which that's the wrong one. This is the right one. So we're looking for something that's going to look like it's been repunched. You can see a little bit of doubling at the bottom there. So these nickels are pretty worn, so I don't know, sometimes it's hard to find the doubling when they're like that, but we'll try our best. And on the San Francisco variety, we have another repunched mint mark of the S. You can see it kind of at the bottom of the tail there, the serif is doubled. So that's what we'll be looking for. We're going to go over to the scope and see if we can't find them, so hang in there. Alright, so this is the first 1942P. We'd see if we had any of the doubling, it would be near the bottom on the right side, it looked like by some pictures, so I don't see anything there, so let's go through the rest of them. All the P's, take a look. You'll see these 42s are they're pretty worn, so it might be hard to see it, and if we do, it's not going to be worth a lot, but it'll be fun to find anyway. Nothing there. Nothing I can see there. Nope. Don't see anything, but again, they're all pretty worn, so it might be hard to see it. So those are all the Philadelphias. So let's go through the S mint marks. So based on the picture, the doubling was going to be that bottom serif area. I'm just taking a quick look at the picture myself to refresh. So it looks like if we saw it, we would kind of see it double tail. I don't see anything there. And this is the last one of these. So I don't see anything there, but again, they're pretty worn. So that's it. That's all the 42s we had. It was a pretty small number, but there are a lot of 43s. What did I say? 20, 40, 60, about 65 43s to go through. So let's go look over on the PCGS site to see what type of varieties we're looking for in the 1943s. Alright, so 1943s on the Philadelphias, we're going to be looking for 2 DDOs, double die obverse, FS102, FS103, we'll look at those in a second, as well as another double dyed obverse variety. Also, it looks like the 43 has a repunched date, so it should be 43/2. And then the 43 Denver looks like it's going to have a repunch mint mark variety with D/D, so we'll take a look at those closer up here. So here's one of the 43 P's DDOs. Let's see if we can see where the doubling is. Looks like maybe you can see underneath the 4, maybe a little doubling there. So these, sometimes these double dyes are hard to pinpoint when they're not exactly specified on the website. Sometimes the PCGS website has the exact variety over here, but they don't in this case. So, here we go, like this. So the 1943P double dyed obverse. So these are the differences that we're going to be looking for. Some doubling in the T, on the N you can see it, on the D, and then the I's. The I's are always the hardest one for me. I can never spot those very easily. So those are some things we'll be looking for on the 1943P here. Here's the 1943/2, which is interesting. Looks like that might be a little hard to spot, especially on worn nickels, but we'll see if we can't spot that, because that's pretty cool. And then the last variety on the Denver, the D/D. So we'll be looking for some D doubling. You can kind of see it there at the bottom of the D serif, how it's split. So that's what we'll be looking for to find that. So I'm going to sort these war nickels by the mint, and then we'll start looking at them underneath the scope. So I'll be right back. Alright, so we sorted through the 43s by mint mark. We have the D pile here, which is a little over 20, and then the P pile here, and those are the S's. The S mint marks have no varieties that we're looking for, so those ones are just going to be tossed to the side, and we're going to be looking through these. So let's go to the scope. Actually, first we're going to we're looking at the 1943 D/D first. This is what we're going to be looking for, that double serif D at the bottom. Alright, so now let's go over to the scope and start looking at these D's, see if we can't spot one of these double serifed D/D repunched mint marks. That'd be fun. Some of the 45s are a little bit more closer to, some of them are AU, maybe even BU, so we might have a little bit better luck on the 45s than these, but it's really hard to be able to tell on some of these if they are the double repunched mint mark variety because they're worn. This has the possibility, but it's just hard to see. Alright, so again on the Philadelphia's 43s, we're going to be looking for some of this doubling here to see the doubling on the T, looks like over here on the E, on the 4, the G, the D, the N. Alright, let's look at these underneath the scope. So we're looking for doubling on the 43s. But particularly hard with the wear, so it takes a little bit more looking at all of the lettering, so I'm probably going to do some fast forwarding here, and I will stop it if we find anything interesting. How about that? So bear with me as I look through about 20 of these 1943Ps. Alright, well, unfortunately I don't think we spotted any of the doubling in the 43s, so I guess we're going to move on to the 44s. Hopefully have some better luck there. Alright, so the 44s only have one variety we're looking for. It's the 44 Denver, and it looks like another repunch mint mark, D over D. So this is what we're going to be looking for. It looks like we'll be able to see some of the repunched mint mark doubling on the top, near the top of the serif. So we should see a double serif if we're going to find that. And I already separated the coins into the D's, and I don't have that many of them. Looks like 3, 6, 8 Denvers, 44s we're going to look at. So let's take a look on the scope. So again, we're looking, the doubling would be near the top of the mint mark. I don't see anything there, so that's a miss. Yep, nothing there. And no, this is the last one. So that was the final 44 nickel. So all we have left are the 45s. On the positive side, some of the 45s are in better condition from what I saw than the 44s. So let's go take a peek at what we're looking for on the 45s. So close the 44, here's the 45. So 45P, we're a triple die. Triple die reverse. Haven't seen that before. Let's take a look what that looks like. 45 double dyed reverse. 45 Denver. 45D double dyed reverse as well. So it looks like San Francisco's we're going to throw away. Well, not throw away, but set aside. So let's see. On the 45P triple die reverse, I'm going to be looking for some series doubling, I would think, somewhere. Looks like maybe there on the E, the 5. See if there's any doubling on the outside. Maybe on the E there. America. Might need to find a better picture to get an idea of what we're going to be looking for here. Alright, so the 45 double dyed reverse. Oh, we got some stuff on the Monticello, it looks like. Oh, that's some cool doubling. So those should be easier to see than the other ones we've been looking for. So doubling on the S, the E, the C, the Monticello. Perfect. So that's stuff we'll be looking for. And the 45D, I opened up the wrong one, it seems. 45D double dyed obverse. Here we are. No picture, that doesn't help. This one. Oh, it also has a repunched mint mark, huh? Okay. So that one's a little bit harder to see, it looks like, so we'll be looking for some repunch mint mark on the Denver as well. So let me sort these by the mints, and we're throwing away the S's, right? Yep, we're throwing away the San Franciscos. So I'll be right back when these are sorted, and we're going to be looking through them. Alright, just finished up sorting these, and unfortunately, the largest pile here were the San Franciscos, so those are just getting set aside. There's no varieties to look for. Smallest pile here are the Philadelphias, and then the next largest pile are the Denvers. So let's start looking at them. Alright, just a quick refresher for the Denver 45s. We're looking for a repunched mint mark, which is pretty hard to see, so I don't have high hopes for that. And a blank picture for a double-dyed obverse, so I guess we'll just look for doubling on the front of the coin. Okay, let's do it. Under the scope we go to look at these 45 Denvers. So we're going to have to look at both sides because we're looking for this RPM and a DDO. So, do you believe I'm going to get into some fast forward motion here? Hang on. Just because I wasn't seeing anything doubling, I'm double checking the DDO variety on this 45D, and it looks like they say that the doubling is really just going to be strong extra thickness on all the lettering and the date, so it's going to be pretty hard to tell, but at least it gives me a little bit better idea of what we're looking for. So I guess the area that I'm going to be focusing on, from what I can tell, is this lib, and the Liberty is definitely a little bit thicker, especially in the bottom of the L here to find the doubling. I'll flip over to one of the coins with it marked, and we'll maybe be able to see a little bit of the difference. So in our lib, you can kind of see there's more of a space there in the bottom of the L. In this one, there's definite, it's more filled in and maybe looks a little bit more doubled, so that's what we're looking for. So let's keep going. Alright, since I found this better piece of information, I went back and rechecked all the ones that I had checked previously. I think this 9 here is pretty much the dead giveaway for me. It would have been able to see. It's much thicker than the regular 9. So, but didn't see anything. So those were all the 45 Ds that we went through. Unfortunately, didn't find any of the doubling on either side, so what we have left are the 45 Ps now, and that is this double-dyed reverse. So we'll be looking for pretty significant doubling on the Monticello, on the Sense, all on the reverse. So I don't have a big stack of these, and hopefully we find something. I guess we'll see. Well, I'm sorry guys, it looks like we struck out. Went through 140, 50 odd war nickels and wasn't able to find a variety. Some of it probably due to them being a little bit too worn. It's too bad. There are a lot of cool varieties that as you have seen on these war nickels. So in any case, I hope maybe you learned something, what to look for when you find a war nickel. They're a lot of fun. So maybe next time I'll find some BU war nickels that we can go through and maybe have a little better odds. Anyways, thanks for watching. This was Pete's Quarter Life Crisis. Adios.